you thought that getting to level 50 was hard, wait until you hear what's next. Data miners recently discovered that level 60 was coming to the game. What they failed to uncover was that there were 20 more levels coming along with it. That's right, Pokemon Go has raised the level cap to 80. So what exactly does that mean? I'll break it all down here in the first part of the video, and then later on I'll cover the potential impact on the game moving forward. So if you want to hear my thoughts on it, I would certainly recommend sticking around until the end. So first things first, starting today, the 25th of August, and then running through October 14th at 11:59 p.m., there will be a major event that really helps players earn the extra XP that they need even faster. You'll get 3,000 extra XP for beating raids and Dynamax battles, and you'll get 2 times XP for catching Pokemon, which means if you land an excellent throw, instead of getting 1,000 XP, you're getting 2,000 XP. Additionally, there will be free, absolutely free, timed research that gives you over 7 million XP. Look, I know a lot of players have been stuck on levels 41 through 50 just because of those really intensive tasks that they have you complete, like the infamous lucky Pokemon grind to level 48. Now if that's you, good news, those tasks are going away. Well, sort of. Now XP alone will get you to level 50, but those kind of grindy tasks, they've been pushed into the 70 to 80 range. What those tasks are right now, we're not 100% sure. But for those of you still stuck, if you're under level 50 right now, all you have to do is just worry about just going back to grinding that XP. There is a catch though. The avatar items tied to completing levels 41 through 50, they are now limited time. After October 15th, they're gone. So if you really want those avatar digs, you better go out there and grind. Well, after this video, then go grind. So you may be thinking, what happens after level 50? Does my XP reset at the start over? No. Your cumulative total of XP carries over. Now, for example, my XP right now is just over 336 million, but I only needed 176 million, but only needed 176 million XP to reach what was the level cap. So I have over 160 million XP that's going to be carrying over or rolling over. So based on previously earned XP, a lot of us are going to automatically jump in level on October 15th. And we'll be receiving rewards associated with reaching those levels at that time. New, more premium rewards will be added to level progression, such as increased storage space for Pokemon, items, and gifts. But wait, there's more. The leveling curve will be rebalanced. If the current equation for XP scaling was still in place, you would need roughly 5 billion, that is billion with a B, 5 billion XP to get there. But thankfully for all of us who like living lives outside Pokemon Go, I highly doubt we'll need that much experience to beat the game again. The devs already announced that the rework won't demote players, but instead will actually promote them. So chances are, in just say my situation, I'll probably end up being in the mid 60s while players who are in the mid 40s might jump to 50 or beyond. Since there will be another update announcement coming explaining the XP scaling in October, it's probably best just to classify these examples as speculative at best. However, something that we do know for certain will be that players at level 70 or higher will have an increased chance of becoming lucky friends with other players. And I will touch more on that in the opinions part of this video. There will be an XP Celebration Ultra Box for $9.99 USD, or the price equivalent based on your country's currency, available on the Pokemon Go web store. Please note that there is a limit of only 3 purchases per person of this box. Inside, you'll get 15 lucky eggs, 1 super incubator, 1 regular incubator, 5 incense, and 2 lore modules. Before I dive into my initial reaction to the news, let me answer some questions we may all have as a community. I'll try my best to navigate through the information for you. Since the max level Pokemon can reach is level 50, and that was the previous level cap for trainers, does that mean that the max level for Pokemon also increases alongside of us? I'm going to say no, and here's why. From what I can see, there will not be any changes to the underlying CP formula, CPM values, or anything having to do with the Pokemon themselves. I know there is a little bit of concern in the community that the 8,900 candies and the 8,900 XL candies necessary to max out Eternatus was potentially a sign of things to come in terms of resource necessity to power up your existing Pokemon. So let me minimize that concern for you. Eternatus is absolutely busted. Regardless if it's Pokemon Go or if it's in the main series of Sword and Shield games, Turnus is just a beast. So I think, as much as anything, I think that the Go Fest finale this past weekend was more just an excuse to get more players doing the Dynamax and Gigantamax battles, which is a relatively new feature that I know that the developers are really excited about. Also, let's just call a spade. It was a money grab, like hardcore money grab. But Niantic and Scopely, they know that even the hardest of hardcore grinders are not going to be able to and won't be willing to do that for every single useful Pokemon in game. So if the level cap increase is meant to bring new players in, reignite the fan base, making the entire game that much of a money grab would just kill any hope of gaining new players or assuring that their current existing players will stick around or come back. What happens at midnight on October 15th? Don't worry, Cinderella, you'll just level up. How much? That's to be determined. I mentioned that if you want the avatar items, you need to reach level 50 before the clock strikes midnight, because once they're gone, they're gone. But if you already reached level 50 and you collected those rewards, you don't lose them. They're yours forever. They're just limited edition vintage now. I mentioned that rewards will include increased storage space, so you may be wondering, well, what if I already maxed out my storage? Does that kind of screw me over? No, it does not. So if you have the highest possible capacity for your storage, the bonuses earned via leveling up will actually just supersede that limitation. So don't worry, you won't be punished for already having the most space currently available. And here's the verdict. I think this update, for what we currently know, is just absolutely massive. And here's why. From my personal experience, a lot of players that I play with locally are either in the 40s or they'd already hit level 50 and kind of just gave up on the game and sat down. While maybe not completely, maybe they're just not as invested. And I've seen a lot of videos, some other YouTubers asking, has the game gone stale, since there hasn't been a major shakeup in the game for quite some time. I think that any kind of increase to the level cap could help reinvigorate a fan base that's been around for almost a decade, which is really crazy if you think about it. A mobile game that had this kind of staying power is ridiculous. And to think too that in some ways the game is still evolving and it's still growing. So for that reason alone, I'm going to be optimistic about the update. And I think it's a smart play. Them redoing the XP scale, it's awesome and almost necessary when you increase your level cap by 60%. But this is where I kind of get a little bit hung up. Why not just set the level cap at 60, then integrate the new tasks from 50 to 60, much like they did when they raised the cap from 40 to 50? Now, I think that initially, but then when I really sit down and think about it, and if I were to venture a guess, and please just take this with a grain of salt, because I'm working with limited information here. We'll know more about the official level scaling in early October when they reveal more. I think if they push the cap by 10 and cap the current scaling, they would not be addressing the issue that they think that they have. If they just bumped it by 10 with the same equation, players stuck at, say, level 42 would still be stuck at level 42, theoretically. And they wouldn't be further incentivized to keep going and may instead just decide to quit altogether if they're already struggling to get to level 50. So this change may push them closer to or beyond the milestone that they had difficulty reaching before. But on the other hand, I kind of wonder if long-term players or long-time players will feel slighted, that they had to scratch and claw their way to 50 and do all those tasks and then have to do even more, possibly harder tasks, while someone who is sitting at level 49 only has to do one set of tasks if they decide to keep playing until they hit level 80. So, you know, personally, I really don't care too much because it just gives me more stuff to do in the game and it helps keep motivation up. But I get it, I understand. Not everyone is as invested in the game as I am, let alone makes content about the game. I will say, I do like that they are rewarding the OG level 50s by making the avatar items feel more exclusive. It's kind of like a, hey, thanks for getting there before time expired type of thing. Granted, I mentioned in previous weekly update videos that personally, I'm not really swayed one or the other by avatar items or cosmetics. but I do think it's pretty cool that they are throwing some of the OGs a bone. Plus the fact that a lot of the rewards for going through the 70s actually gives you more storage space is terrific. I mentioned earlier that players level 70 and higher will have an increased chance of becoming lucky friends, and this is another one that kind of has me torn, so I really want to circle back on this. In my personal situation, I already have 60 lucky friends on my friends list, and half of them are local, which means the other half I'll probably never get the opportunity to meet in person. Then of those 30 local lucky friends, half of them don't really play or they don't have campfire, so it's really difficult to coordinate when I can knock out those lucky trades. So that means about 45 of the 60 friends that I currently have that are already lucky friends, they're kind of just a tease at this point. So, which honestly, frankly, it sucks. So yeah, I just can't wait to have 50 lucky friends that I will have the same issue with. But there may be a silver lining. Data miners recently uncovered assets for global trading. Now, if that does come to the game, my opinion will drastically change for the better. Ever since Mateo has been spotted at the end of routes, I've kind of theorized that the next logical escalation would be that global trading would come to the game. Since we're kind of already blindly sending gifts into the ether, I think, again, the next logical step would be sending Pokemon, maybe like a surprise trade or a wonder trade, as they used to call it in the main series games. And then from there, you can maybe just once per day, just do a lucky trade with a friend who lives 5,000 kilometers or 3,000 miles away from you. Now, while it is unclear if that information is accurate, especially when you consider that data miners also said that the level cap was 20 places lower than what Niantic announced, it would be a massive quality of life update that is very long overdue. Otherwise, that bonus of increased lucky friends chance just kind of seems underwhelming at best. So you've heard the news, you've heard my opinions. Now I want to hear from you guys. This channel has been kicking butt with engagement recently, and I want to see that trend continue. We're really building something special here. It's not just me, it's all of you watching from home on your phones, your TVs. It's everyone out there clicking that thumbs up icon and smashing that subscription bell. It's everyone who's been asking questions or commenting below. You guys are the oil that makes this machine run. So thank you for that. As always, I have left a conversation starter down below. Are you excited about the level cap increase? What level are you currently, and what are your predictions that your level will be when the clock strikes midnight on October 15th? This is your time to sound off in the comment section below. I'll respond to you for the rest of the week, and as more information becomes available, I'll post another update video, so do not forget to subscribe so you don't miss out when the video drops. And I know I mentioned it in the weekly update video that just came out, that my flagship series Caps Card Collection Challenge continues this week. Now, if you haven't checked it out, the first 2 episodes are on screen now for you to check out. The upcoming video is completely different than anything we've done in the saga so far, but the tagline remains the same. Even if I lose, someone still wins. Well, that just about does it for me. I will see you all in the comment section and in the next video. Until next time, be safe.